Is the COVID-19 stimulus the handcuffs that make us prisoners in our own home?
Doors closing.
Now, I did a lot of looking at this stimulus package, and I won't sit here and tell you that I read the entire bill, um, but I did read what impacts the American citizen the most. And there's a lot of good things in this bill. You can tell that the U.S. government, Congress, the executive branch, and all of the above, they put forth what I think is a pretty valiant effort to try and get money into the pockets of American citizens at a time like this. You know, people are laid off of their jobs. A lot of people haven't been to work. A lot of people's businesses have just been outright halted. And there's opportunity for you to get, at the very minimum, $10,000 as a small business owner. Just cash in hand, you know, and the language in the bill says they have to get it to you within 3 days. Um, and if you're a sole proprietor, independent contractor, or any small business with under 500 employees, and that includes independent contractor includes people who do ride share. So this is a very very common thing that can happen if you just understand the language of the bill. Not to mention they add $600 on top of what people are already getting in unemployment. And when you factor in that the average unemployment benefits are about $300, that gives each and every American close to $900 for the better part of this season weekly just to stay home. There's up to $100,000 loan forgiveness, um, as long as you spend the money on the qualified expenses. And, you know, not to mention the $1,200 plus $500 per dependent that just about every individual will receive. And when you look at all of that in totality, the question just becomes, you know, why are they paying us so much money to stay at home? Because it's great in terms of just getting money in our hands, but you wonder why they want to give you so much money all of a sudden, because this country was trillions of dollars in debt already, and now we are spending what amounts to $6 trillion on this stimulus package at a time where, you know, they claimed we didn't have any money. Then you also got enough to put 350 million for refugees inside the bill, and give yourself a pay raise as well if you're a Congress member. So um, I have a lot of questions. There's a lot of good things happening from this bill. Obviously, the immigration is down, and you got certain countries that wanted to flood our country with their people don't even want us coming to their country anymore. So, but my main point is, you know, I feel like we have been backdoored into a socialist state because now nobody's leaving their home, nobody's interacting, business is halted, and the government has the keys. The government is in charge now, and all we can do is sit and wait. And this is exactly what the socialists want. It's too convenient. It's just way too convenient for me when you consider that CEOs a month in advance of all of this happening were stepping down and dumping large sums of money into their account on the way out. Um, and again, when you talk to any socialist or any supporter of socialism, you can see that this is what they wanted. This is, I mean, they always compare us to other countries, all these other countries overseas who give their citizens this much, and their citizens only work that much. They get this much paid sick leave, and they get this much time off, and you know they only pay this much in taxes, which we probably pay the least amount in taxes out of all those countries. But this is exactly what they want. Everybody staying at home. Um, if you're not already well learned in economics, you know, you probably having a hard time right now unless you already had some solid business that, you know, you're essential, you know, and you can work from home, you know, like maybe you are good with your hands and you can build things in your backyard that people are going to need, or you provide some sort of service that you can do from your own home or just out of your own garage as a sole proprietor or something of that nature. Um, but other than that, if you needed a 9 to 5 to generate income, then you are solely dependent on the government right now, and that's exactly what they want. And when you factor in that we are at an economic high, in most cases doing all time numbers, and then we got this sect of people who have been trying to fight our president at every step of the way, and nothing has happened. They tried with Stormy Daniels, nothing happened. They tried to get him impeached with Russia. They found out that they were the ones actually colluding with Russia, and then that died on the vine. The Mueller report was a big nothing burger. Um, they tried with Ukraine, and they actually did impeach him, but they didn't have enough evidence because he wasn't guilty of anything. And not to mention, they were the ones guilty of the crimes that they were trying to expose. So, when you factor all of that in, these same people try to steal our election and blame our president and have him arrested and impeached for it. And then all of a sudden, the economy just stops. I think that's a reason to be alarmed. We only see this type of thing in movies. The economy's going at an all-time high. We got this nefarious sect of people who've been trying to fight the president, who's been going to bat for the American people every step of the way. And when nothing happens, finally let's put out a virus. We'll make everybody afraid to come outside and interact with each other. We'll tell them to stay at home, and then we'll give them a bunch of money so that we lull them right to sleep. And that's what I see here. There's a lot of facts still coming out, but one of the things that still remains is that most of the countries who were dealing with this thing before we were are getting back to business as usual. They're taking proper precautions, not to mention that the flu this season has killed far more people than the COVID-19. It just makes you wonder when you look at the facts of the virus and the symptoms and whether or not it can be treated and the recovery rates. You wonder why they're making us so afraid to just come out of the house. Because most people, by and large, want to just get their lives back. They want to just, they want business as usual. And when only 2% of people are dying, especially when the flu is causing more trouble and other ailments is causing way more deaths, you wonder what's the bottom line here, And Trump has somehow took power from the Fed and given it to the National Treasury, okay? And so that is, I would say that's a good thing. So things are still unfolding, but I do see that right now, the socialists, the ball is in their court, because when you have everybody at home not working, you're paying them to not work, and you control whether or not they leave. You have mandated in many states, it's mandatory that you don't leave your house before May 20th or even early June. I don't see how Americans have sat back and allowed this to happen and they don't see it. I understand the news media controls the narrative, but if you have any semblance of what's going on right now, then you understand that the media is controlled by the deep state. And so we have been backdoored into a socialist state. When you consider that there's so many opportunities for the government to buy your loan, to purchase your loan in this stimulus package. So what happens if you default on the loan? Then the government owns your farm. The government then owns your business or your home or your land. Because you defaulted on your loan. You already had a loan. They want to buy the loan. They want to purchase the loan. So now when you default, it's not so much that corporation that's evicting you and putting you out by law. Now it's the actual government. And this is socialism. This is socialism in every way. I'm curious to see how we will recover, if we can recover, because I honestly think we have witnessed a paradigm shift. When you talk about how people are getting everything mailed to them and delivered to them, nobody's leaving. There's people that are comfortable. They love this thing. I just feel like we're witnessing a transformation here. I don't think we'll ever go back to life as we know it in America. And that's the scary part. And so now we have taken this money and everybody's excited. They're looking for it. And they think, it's going to make the situation better. And hopefully it does. Because again, there's a lot of money to take advantage of in this bill if you understand the language of the law and as an American citizen or small business owner. But for what cause? Because I remember I heard an old Dave Chappelle interview where he gave a parable of a monkey sticking his hand inside of a cage to get the salt cube or sugar cube or whatever it was. He reaches in there with both hands to get it, and he's locked in. And he wants this cube so bad that he keeps his hand in there. He don't realize all he has to do is let it go to be free. And I feel like that's where we are as America right now. We're letting them do and say anything to us every day, and that's been exemplified when you figure that they told us for 3 years that the Mueller report was going to get Trump out of there and it's going to have the smoking gun and all this stuff, and then it was nothing. And not only was it nothing, but it exposed who the real perpetrators were, and nobody investigated it. And so they can make us do whatever they want. They can tell us whatever they want, and now they just give us money, and we'll just go right along with it, gung ho. Everything is all hunky dory as long as you give us money. And this is the socialist state. It's exactly what they wanted, and I hate to see it. I just want to know how long it'll take before the American people rise up and just say no more. I'm not saying let's get violent, but we were walking, we need to be running or stomping. We were talking, we need to be shouting. We were knocking, we need to be beating a little bit louder, because things are starting to get hectic here, and it's not looking good, because the money is one thing, but all money ain't good money. I'm Isaiah Gates, and you've been watching the Subway Train, the modern Underground Railroad.
Doors closing.